Hey guys, welcome back to the front line. It's your girl Shamar. Pull up a seat and come on in the cabin. Um, Guys, I think to move us along, that one of the things you guys need to know is that finding the serpent, yes, that was a really big revelation that I think our mother shared with me, but to this date, I don't think that that was the biggest revelation that she shared with me. There were other things in Genesis 3, guys, that unless we went back to the story and recognized that we let people tell us this story and perhaps didn't read it for ourselves, you're not going to get what I'm talking about when I say the man, right? Because it's going to seem very like I got a beef with men or something, right, guys? And that's definitely not the case. I love my brothers, guys, and there is going to have to be a righteous line that comes uh, to redeem man. That is the purpose of Israel, guys. There has to be a righteous male line to redeem the men, and that is the purpose of Israel, guys. I'm going to take you guys back to Genesis 3. For my viewers and my subscribers who've been here for a while, guys, I know you guys understand this, but we have a lot of new subscribers, so I really want them to understand what I'm talking about. I don't want to alienate anybody or box them out or lose anybody, just because I hadn't taken the time to explain it, right? I had a few new subscribers go back and actually look at some of this, and they were mind blown. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna take the time to do an episode specifically about this. All right, guys, I told you Genesis 3 is my favorite verse, guys. You know what? Let's put on our do not disturb, right, guys? I always forget that. And also, fair use for the purposes of education, right? I'm going to take y'all back to Genesis 3. Okay, guys, because there was a lot going on in Genesis 3. And I'm going to show it to you guys. Let's go on this journey. Alright, guys. For the sake of making this make sense, we are going to have to read this whole chapter. So stick around, guys. It's a bit lengthy. What do we got here? We got 24 verses, so stick around. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about once I read the entire chapter. Okay, guys? Alright. And this is the KJV for the purposes of you guys' understanding. Alright, guys, I told my subscribers I personally like the interlinear, I like the Berean, but for the sake of this episode, we're going to KJV it. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not. You know what? I think my brightness is really down low. Let's brighten it a little bit, guys. That's better. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam, and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for thus thou art, and unto thus thou shalt return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin, and clothe them. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life. Alright guys, there's a lot to unpack here. But before we start unpacking, I want to take y'all to the definition of the word thou. Okay guys? Thou. See the synonyms for it. Yours, your, you. Thou, a singular. Right here guys. This is a singular word. What does singular mean, guys? That means it's only talking to one person, guys. When we see the word thou, it's a singular word, guys. It's not plural. Them, they, that's plural, guys. Thou is singular. So let's go back to Genesis 3 now that we know that thou is singular. Because I'm going to show y'all something that we all missed. I was guilty of this too until my mother gave me new eyes to see this. Okay, so one of the things that got me on this journey, guys, is recognizing that when this curse went out to, I noticed the word her seed right here, guys. Her seed. And I said to myself, I thought the seed was his seed. This is what woke me up, guys. Seeing her seed. So now I start looking at this whole chapter with new eyes, right? Now remember, guys, we've been told that Adam and Eve were cursed, right? This is what Christian churches told us. I know I went to a few when I was a kid. Adam and Eve are cursed. They are kicked out of the garden. That's the story I believe, and it's probably the one you still hold right now. because you have not gone back to read Genesis 3 with new eyes. It went over your head, as it did mine, because they taught me a story, and I held on to that story until I went back and I asked Mother to show me what is in this book. So come on, I'm going to show y'all what's in this book. Y'all, let me show you the serpent. Let me show you something else. All right. They told you Adam and Eve were cursed, right? Show me in Genesis 3 where Adam and Eve are cursed. Any one of my subscribers, anyone listening, show me in Genesis 3 where Adam and Eve are cursed. It seems like to me there's a punishment that went out. There's one individual that is cursed. And the only way I see that someone is cursed is right here, guys. Let's go over it. Let's see, did the Creator actually blame Eve? All right. Let's get down to the Lord God said unto, number 9, and the Lord God said unto Adam, where art thou? Singular. And he said, I heard a voice in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked. I hid myself. He said, who told thou thou was naked? Hast thou eaten from the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman thou hast gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord said unto the woman, what is this? We in 13, guys. What is this that thou hast done? Right here. The Creator at first asked the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Okay, so after Eve says that, if the Creator actually thought that Eve was performing some sort of trickery, as everyone has told you in these Christian stories, then why doesn't the Creator say after this, hey Eve, because you did this, you're cursed? You don't see that in number 14. What you see right here is, and the Lord said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this. The Creator blames the serpent. Thou hast done this. Where was Eve blamed? You're not going to see that in here. Eve is never blamed. The serpent is blamed. Right here, guys. Thou hast done this. And then the serpent is cursed. You're only going to see 2 people being told, because thou hast done this. It's going to blow your mind who those 2 people are. It ain't Eve. Let's go look. All right, right here. All right, so he's talking to the serpent here, guys, the highlighted area. Let's go down when he talks to the woman. Let's see if he starts with, because thou hast done this. Let's see. Unto the woman he said, where is Eve? Because you have done this. I don't see anything saying, because you have done this, Eve. You're not going to see that in Genesis 3. The blame went to the serpent, guys. Right here. He believes Eve. Eve said the serpent tricked me. The Creator went right to the serpent and blamed the serpent. He believed Eve. He didn't say, no, Eve, you're lying. You know, you weren't really tricked by the serpent. He doesn't say that anywhere. Instead, he goes right to the serpent and says, because you did this, you are cursed. All right. We don't see him saying to Eve, because you did this, I greatly multiply your sorrow. Because you did this, in sorrow shalt thou bring forth children. You don't see that into there. That's why I say Eve is not punished, and that's actually a consequence for her actions. Let's go down to Adam. Uh-oh. What do we see there? Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of the wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, thou shalt not eat of. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. See, this is the second curse that went out, guys. Adam and Eve are not cursed. The ground is cursed. And now that we know who the serpent is, we know why the ground is cursed. Adam used the bathroom. Let's keep going. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee. And thou shalt eat of the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face Thou shalt eat bread till thou return to the ground, for out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. This is how come I identified the serpent, guys. It's going to eat the dust. Adam is referred to as the dust right here in Genesis 3, guys. Let's keep going. Then what happens to Eve? And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she is the mother of the living. Some translations have this as Hawa. That would be in the Berean. So guys, Eve is actually raised up to the mother of the living right here, it looks like to me. Where is Eve's punishment, guys? Where is Eve's curse? Where did the Creator say, because you did this, Eve? Show me where Eve dies, guys. Show me where Eve left the garden. Come on, let's go down some more. Because my interpretation says only the man left the garden. Thou is singular. So let's go down. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all the living. Unto Adam also his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin and clothed them. There we go. There's a plural word. There's a plural word right there. There's another one up here. They is up here somewhere as well, guys. Listen, when the Creator wants to speak plural, you'll see it. They, right here, guys. They were naked. Plural. Refer to two or more people. Right there at the bottom, guys. They refers to two or more people. Let's see what them refers to. Because he clothed them. Used as the object of a verb. But we know that's plural, guys. Come on, guys. Let's keep going. And the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. Now lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him, right here, guys, him forth. Where did he send Eve? Show me, guys. He sent the man forth. So he drove out the man right here. All these lies on my mother is going to stop, guys. My mother ain't going nowhere. This is my biological mother. Now, I believe we have a creator mother who Eve is made in the image of. But Eve was not kicked out the garden, guys. The man was. I'm going to prove my point. Only one person was made from dust, guys. Dust thou shalt return. Thou art dust. Thou is singular. He's only talking, he or she, guys. I don't know which creator this was. This creator is only talking to Adam. And you know what that punishment is right there, guys? Because I don't call it a curse. That's the why death. I've been talking about the why death, right, guys? And a lot of my viewers are like, well, what is this why death? Much love to you, Add Nicely. I'm going to show y'all what this why death is. Because that's what Adam was cursed with. But wait, before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm going to show y'all that it's only Adam. Let's go. All right, Job 31 and 33. Job says, let's go to the KJV. Everybody loves the KJV. Let's go on down there. Right here, if I covered my transgressions as Adam, by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom. Why doesn't it say covered my transgressions as Adam and Eve? Why doesn't that verse say as Adam and Eve? Let's keep going. That's Job 31 and 33, guys. Did you know that was in there? Let's go to Isaiah 43 and 27. Your first father sinned. Those I sent to teach you rebelled against me. Who's your first father, guys? Who is the first father? None other than Adam. Remember, guys, I showed you Adam's genealogy. Disgruntled Adam. Adam is the first prophet of Allah. Where is it at, guys? I believe it's in here. Maybe in here. Adam is the first prophet of Allah, guys. Adam left the garden alone. Go back and read it. Now let me introduce y'all to something else here. Why the last man? This is a show, guys. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world. Why is the last surviving male human on the planet? Based on the comic series, Why the Last Man? What are they telling us in this, guys? Let me show you what they're telling us. The Y chromosome. Let's talk about it. The Y chromosome loss through aging can lead to an increased risk of heart failure and death from cardiovascular disease, new research finds. The Y chromosome can be lost through the process of aging. Let's go down to the second paragraph right here. While most women have 2 X chromosomes, most men have 1 X and 1 Y. I say that Y was a broken X, guys, and that this happened in the garden. But you'd have to follow me to further episodes. So let's just focus on the fact that they're calling it a Y. I'll give it to them. Let's say it's a Y. All right, it's a Y. Did you know that the Y chromosome is damaged, shriveled up? Let's go. That happened in the garden, guys, because the Creator told man, unto dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. Let's go. That's why it's only going to be a 10th left, coming through Abraham's line, guys. Let's keep going. While most men have 1 X and 1 Y. How could the man have a Y and Eve has 2 X's? I ain't even going to go there right now, guys. It doesn't make sense. And many people with Y chromosomes start to lose them in a fraction of the cells in their body as they age. While loss of the Y chromosome was first observed in 1963, it was not until 2014 that researchers found an association between loss of the Y chromosome and shorter lifespan. Y chromosome loss has since been linked to a number of age-related diseases, such as cancer and Alzheimer's disease. However, it's been unknown whether this loss is just another benign indication of age. No, it's not. This is your curse. This is what the Creator said. This is returning to dust, guys. Alzheimer's. Isn't that your brain getting eaten out by that worm? Let's go to another article, guys. I hope I'm making this connection for you guys. The Y chromosome is disappearing. So what will happen to men? That's what that show is about, guys. Why the Last Man? They know that this chromosome is flawed. They know it's shriveling up, and they know that it's degrading. It's called the Y degradation. And that's linked to Adam, guys. Because Adam is the one told that unto dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. Remember, the man cannot stretch his hand out. The man is asked to leave the garden. Let's keep going. The Y chromosome may be a symbol of masculinity, but it's becoming increasingly clear that it is anything but strong and enduring. Although it carries the master switch gene that determines whether an embryo will develop as a male or female, that's BS too, because the embryo is already a female. This determines if you turn into a male. It contains very few other genes and is the only chromosome not necessary for life. Women, after all, manage just fine without one. What's more, the Y chromosome has degenerated rapidly, leaving females with 2 perfectly normal X chromosomes, but males with an X and a shriveled up Y. If the same rate of degradation continues, the Y chromosome has just 4.6 million years left before it disappears completely. We know that we don't deal in millions of years, right, guys? Let's skip down to the next paragraph, because they can miss me with their billions of years. The Y chromosome hasn't always been like this. If we rewind the clock to the very first mammal, who's the first mammals, guys? Adam and Eve. The story was completely different. The early proto-Y chromosome was originally the same size as the X chromosome. Of course it was. And contained all the same genes. However, we're right here. Y chromosomes have a fundamental flaw. Unlike all other chromosomes, which we have 2 copies of in each of our cells, Y chromosomes are only ever present as a single copy, passed from fathers to their sons, the sour grapes. This means that genes on the Y chromosome cannot undergo genetic recombination, the shuffling of genes that occurs in each generation, which helps to eliminate the damaged gene mutations. Deprived of the benefit, the Y chromosomal genes degenerate over time and are lost from the genome. Okay? They're not going to tell you that this is happening to the man. So if the man is responsible for making sure that more men are born and the Y is dying, where does that put us, guys? Could it be that when the Creator said, "Unto dust thou shalt return," that's exactly what was meant by that, guys? You better get in Ezekiel 18, guys. That 10th. You better hope to be in that 10th. Because you know what Genesis 6 told me? Let's go to it, guys. I get very passionate about this because I saw something in here, guys. And I've been sharing it. And I've been trying to let y'all know this for months now. What do you think my mother's mad about, guys? Ezekiel 18 sounds like it's for the men. You best believe when you see the word man and men, that's exactly what it means. Because it ain't them and they. Let's keep going. I showed y'all that. It says thou. Go back and read it for yourself. And I challenge you to tell me, where did Eve go? The only person's death mentioned is Adam's. That's it. Adam's out here as the first prophet of Allah. Adam is the progenitor of patriarchy. I thought Eve was the mother of the living. How is he the progenitor of patriarchy? We're going to get into a whole lot, guys. So when I call him disgruntled Adam, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll see it. I linked Adam to Rome. Let's keep going. This is what the Creator felt. Right here in Genesis 6, 5 through 8. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created, from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah didn't have a creeping thing with him, did he? No, Noah didn't have no creeping thing with him. Noah didn't have no worms. That's why his flesh was chosen. Guys, that's my belief. Somebody's going to have to prove to me otherwise. It says right here, the Creator was grieved. This is what Ezekiel 18 is telling you guys. You want to know what? Somebody reminded me of the HeLa cells. You know anything about the HeLa cells, guys? They were found in a woman. Immortal cells. Immortal cells. Found in a black woman, guys. So I'm going to say on that, you guys better do your research. Stop letting them tell us about our stories. Pick up your book, read it for yourself, come back and tell me I'm lying. Come back and tell me that the Creator blamed Eve. Come back and show me where he says, Eve, because you Because thou have done this, you're going to have childbirth and pain. Because thou hast done this, your husband's going to rule over me. Show me where that is. Show me where he says they are to leave the garden. Please tell me. Because it says here that God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man. This is what I see on the front line, guys. This is what I mean when I say the man. Right here, guys. I hope I made this clear, guys. I hope you see this in Genesis 3. Much love to you guys from Shamar, right here in the front line. See you next Shabbat.